It just takes a beloved movie and makes it much more boring and much less realistic. The movie is really, really bad.
From the moment Disney announced its live-action adaptation of Snow White, excitement rippled through the film community. Audiences had seen live-action reimaginings of classic tales before, and each one, from Cinderella to Aladdin, seemed to mint money at the box office. This time, though, the conversation took a sharp turn when rumors began circulating that the beloved 1937 storyline would be radically updated. Fans were intrigued by the promise of a more empowered princess, but many worried the timeless charm would vanish under layers of modern messaging. Still, the magic words Disney remake typically meant an unstoppable success, until everything unraveled. The casting of Rachel Zegler only fueled anticipation. She was fresh, talented, and keen to champion a more progressive take on a classic character. Early social media buzz suggested that while some purists preferred the fairy tale intact, others embraced the idea of a Snow White who wasn't just waiting for true love. But that cautious optimism plunged into chaos once Zegler hit the talk show circuit. Her appearance on The View became the moment that would define the film's trajectory. Live on daytime TV, she veered off Disney's neatly scripted talking points, describing the original story as outdated, challenging fans to stop clinging to the past, and dipping into political commentary that blindsided both viewers and the show's producers. People watching at home saw the camera abruptly cut to commercials amid frantic gestures off stage, and social media erupted before the show had even returned from break. Memes, reaction videos, and trending hashtags popped up almost instantly, with some applauding her honesty, while others fumed that she had insulted a cherished piece of animation history. Suddenly, this film's storyline wasn't about magic, mirrors, or dwarfs. It was about a meltdown that seemed to overshadow every other aspect of production. That single interview supercharged a backlash that had been quietly brewing among longtime Disney fans who felt the studio was taking too many liberties with the source material. Meanwhile, younger audiences, who might have rallied behind a modern retelling, were off-put by the avalanche of negativity flooding their social feeds. As opening weekend approached, ticket pre-sales looked shockingly soft, fueling whispers that not even Disney's colossal marketing machine could steer the narrative back on track. Then came the box office results, which told a grim story. Auditoriums were alarmingly empty. Parents who usually turn to Disney for a safe family outing steered their kids to other films, either put off by the controversy or simply uninterested in a version that no longer felt like the fairy tale they remembered. Before anyone could catch their breath, AMC, America's largest theater chain, made a jaw-dropping decision. It was pulling Snow White from its screens entirely. In an industry where a major Disney release typically commands valuable showing time for weeks on end, this was practically unheard of. Executives justified the move by pointing to dismal attendance figures. Financially, they argued the movie was a bust, so why keep screens tied up with a film that was hemorrhaging revenue? The pop culture fallout was immediate. People joked that the fairest of them all had become box office poison, and Joe Rogan dedicated a lengthy monologue to dissecting how a single mismanaged interview could torpedo a project of this scale. He emphasized that the fiasco signaled a turning point. Audiences crave progress and inclusion, but they also have deep nostalgia for classics they grew up with. If a remake seems to tear down what they once loved, then no amount of Disney branding or shiny production values can guarantee success. Fans, it seemed, were done being told their fond memories were obsolete. In the broader entertainment world, Snow White's collapse rang out like a warning bell. Industry insiders started to wonder if studios had leaned too heavily on nostalgia, pushing out half-baked modern retellings without balancing respect for the original. Some argued that Rachel Zegler was treated unfairly, singled out for an outspokenness that might have been praised under different circumstances. Others said her remarks were symptomatic of a deeper corporate miscalculation, as though no one at Disney realized just how protective people are of a film that basically launched the studio's animated legacy. Once AMC announced its decision, smaller theater chains followed suit or dramatically reduced showtimes. Discussions shifted to how quickly Disney would shuffle this film onto its streaming platform, hoping to salvage at least some interest among curious viewers who skipped the theater. Meanwhile, the meltdown interview itself continued to thrive online, turning what was supposed to be an innocuous talk show spot into the year's most infamous publicity disaster. As the dust settled, the Snow White remake became a cultural case study on how fragile brand loyalty can be, even for an entertainment giant like Disney. The fiasco underscored the fact that audiences might be open to updated classics, but they won't tolerate feeling belittled by a star's commentary or a story that discards the original soul. It forced Disney to confront a painful truth. If you push consumers too far, they won't just stay home, they'll actively speak out against the film. And when a film becomes more known for its off-screen drama than its on-screen magic, not even the biggest theater chain in America can keep it afloat. So here we are, left with the question of whether Disney will take these hard lessons to heart. Will the studio find a better balance between revisiting its legendary back catalog and honoring the nostalgia that made those tales so beloved in the first place? For now, Snow White stands as a cautionary tale, reminding Hollywood and every hopeful star just how quickly a dream project can slip into a nightmare if public trust is lost. The story is no longer about a princess waiting to be saved. It's about a studio fighting to save its own reputation in the wake of a very real, very messy meltdown that no one, it seems, can soon forget. Before you go, let's keep the conversation going. Do you think classics should remain untouched, or is it time for bolder, modern spins? Comment below if you believe Disney pushed its luck with Snow White, or if the meltdown was just a fluke. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like this post and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes looks at Hollywood's biggest triumphs and controversies. Tag a friend who's a Disney fanatic, and let's see if they're as shocked as we are. The fairy tale might be old, but the conversation is only beginning.